Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday's ThetaTalks. My name is Maisha and I will be joined by Sanaiyah, and we are going to explore where we kind of left off last time. So we were talking about superpowers. We were talking about how with Theta Healing, you are able to learn these really cool skills, which we kind of branded it as superpowers because it is really cool. And not everyone has these type of superpowers. And the fact that we can use this and apply it into our day-to-day life. Well, welcome. I was just telling the audience that, we were kind of taking over where we left off. We talked about the superpowers that as theta healers, we are able to learn, to be able to use in our day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
And there's actually more, which is why we have a part two today.
Yeah. So we actually had another topic set up, but then we're like, wait a minute, there's so much we still wanted to say and didn't get to cover, right? In our last conversation, Maish. So I was thinking about what superpower or what ability as a theta healer do I want to start with? And I think my number one is the ability to read people around me, right?
Mm.
So if my child is just moody, I know exactly what's going on by reading, and I could like scanning them, and I could tell that there was something going on at school. And, those kind of things I think for me are really, really special. It's really special to be able to do that. And I do it with my husband all the time. He comes home and how was your day? And he's like, oh yeah, just another day. But then
You know,
you
there's
just know
something under,
something
yeah.
else, right? And you wouldn't have thought to ask if you didn't pick up some kind of hint of, um, something's up. And often you can call it right away too. Like, did someone did someone do something at work that is, frustrating?
You
Like you can
pick it
call it right
up.
away. You pick it up. It's
Exactly.
not,
And they'll be like,
you're not,
what? How
yeah.
did you know?
Right.
There
So it's
is.
not just knowing there's something off, which a lot of
Mm,
people are able to do, but really sometimes knowing better than they
yeah.
do exactly what is at the root of whatever is bothering them, or, before they can even come to terms with themselves, or before they can understand it. Often as a theta healer, we can call it out right away,
Yeah.
which really helps
Yeah.
them, helps us, helps the relationship as well. So I think
And
that
I
is,
guess I guess sometimes even for individuals, when they experience something, right? An event or something at work, they're not able to sync, what just happened with their emotions. And so what we're picking up is that level of emotions that they're not even able to internalize yet.
yeah,
That's what you're saying, right? Which is great because for them to maybe go to bed and sleep with that emotion and that feeling, and the next day to wake up, they'll feel even worse or heavier. At least we're able to help them process
yeah.
and pick up on
And
that.
it's interesting because that's probably our biggest job as parents, is to help our children process and understand their feelings. So a great example was today we were at dinner, and I'm in Guam right now.
Mm.
So we're at dinner, and Sahara, my daughter, was very cranky because it was like, first of all, we're 2 hours ahead,
Right.
and we just flew in really early this morning, so she hasn't had her rest. We flew all night. And so I was telling her, Sahara, you're just tired, because she was like cranky, and she was just like almost kind of throwing little mini tantrums. Not quite, but like, she
Nearly
just was not, yeah.
getting there. Yeah.
And I was like, Sahara, it's okay. You're just tired, honey. You're just tired. It's okay. You're just tired. And my husband's like, don't tell her that. Then she will think she's
Mm,
tired.
mm.
Don't tell her that. I'm like, actually, I need to tell her that so she understands
What
what
she's
she's
feeling.
feeling right
Yeah.
now is she can't hold it together because she's just tired,
Yeah.
right? And often we get really
Mhm.
frustrated at people. We
Mhm.
we throw our own tantrums, whether it's at our
Yeah.
partner or our friends. We just kind of like, you know, we're emotionally dysregulated
Mm,
and we're just really like we overreact, or we kind of respond in a very harsh way. And
yeah,
sometimes that's because we're just tired,
yeah,
right? We're not emotionally regulated because we're so tired. Maybe it was a long day. Maybe we didn't get proper sleep that night. And maybe we just flew in, whatever may be the reason. But a lot of times we behave badly simply because we're tired.
yeah,
And we can't call that, we can't say, you know what, I'm just tired. Let me just go and get some rest
yeah.
instead of trying to push through my day.
And I
And so it
think we get
was
wired, right? If you're so tired, you know how when you have kids and they're so tired and they won't go to bed because they're just they've kind of went past
overtired.
their,
Yeah.
so that's what they're
Yeah.
not able
So,
to see.
circling back to what we were saying is most of us aren't aware
Mm,
of how we're feeling. We aren't aware when we've gotten past that point of just pure exhaustion,
mm,
or we're reacting from a place of tiredness or fogginess or whatever it might be. And so, first of all, it's really important for us to teach our children. That was one thing. But most importantly, is one of the things I love about theta healing is it makes you really aware
mm,
about these feelings, about yourself, about what's going on in your space, so that you can essentially think, right, before
yeah.
you respond, react, make a choice in that moment. You need to be able to really understand where you're at and what's going on with you, right? So I think that is a very important
Mm.
aspect of being a theta healer, is you just become so aware of yourself
Attuned.
and
Yeah.
attuned to other people, and you become a lot more
Mm,
regulated because of that awareness, right? There's a lot more
yeah.
self-regulation because of that awareness. Because I used to be the type of person who would lose my temper all the time.
Yeah.
Like my mom would say, like, you have a bad temper, you
Mm-hmm.
have a bad temper. So I know that I had no idea how to manage my emotions when I was feeling stressed or overwhelmed or frustrated or angry. Just didn't know how to deal with it. And so I would blow up, or I would lose my temper in some way or the other. And that was when I was a lot
And we
younger. But
weren't
um
taught that, right? In
yeah,
that generation.
we
We were
weren't
just
taught.
taught that you're not supposed to be mad. You're not supposed to
Yeah,
cry. Stop
yeah,
crying, it's not okay. So we weren't taught that. So now we're teaching ourselves, right? As data healers, we had to kind of teach ourselves or understand that, you know what, these are emotions, these are feelings. And now that we know, we can pick it up in others even more,
yeah,
right? I think that's
yeah.
also the key.
And I think also validating, right? Validating that these emotions are normal. It's
Yeah.
okay to be
Yeah.
angry. It's okay to be frustrated. But what's not okay is to wallow in those emotions and then let it control you, right? So we want to allow ourselves to feel things, process them, try to understand where they're coming from, and then see if there's a different way to go about handling the
And
situation
reacting.
and
Yeah.
reacting,
Absolutely.
right? So I think that, so I was saying that I used to have a really bad temper, but theta healing really taught me how to regulate, so that, like, I mean, I, I do, it's not like I don't get mad, it's not like I don't lose my temper, but I definitely do not think I have a bad temper
Mm,
at all. In fact, I don't even think I have much of a temper. I am very patient with my children. I'm very patient with clients, and I'm very patient with a lot of people that maybe I haven't been in the past. So I think
mhm.
that internally, like, from a self development, self personal growth perspective, you learn these amazing skills of not only self regulation, but you learn how to, deal with your emotions and process them. You learn patience, you learn resilience, right? You learn a lot of
Yeah.
things
A lot.
that I think when you're doing a lot of work on yourself comes in quite easily. But let's talk about some other superpowers, Maisha. Like, tell me what else is coming up for you, like cool
I
things you
think
get to do.
I think another cool thing is working with weather. Okay, so I
Working with
remember this with weather,
weather.
right? So that's, I think, a really cool superpower that
Hmm?
we learned is that we can actually work with weather. For instance, if it's going to be a rainy day, or you feel like, there's something happening tomorrow and you wanted to ensure that, that you do have a little bit of sun or that things kind of go smoothly. I think that is one of a really, really cool superpower that we have. I remember you have an awesome story to
Yeah.
back this one up, right? You want to elaborate?
So,
I really love that one.
yeah, thanks for bringing that up. But before that, I want to tell you another funny story. So I had a college roommate, one of my besties in college, and she was reading a book about Wicca, or like nature worship, or nature, like
Mm.
the, nature religion and stuff like that. And I remember she was talking about spells and like how you could change the weather. And I remember being like, what is up with her? Like, that is some weird shit, right? I remember just being like, and I love her, like, Uttara, but at that point, it was so weird for me for someone to talk about that kind of stuff. And then fast forward all these years later, I'm in DNA 3 and I'm learning how to change weather. And we all have certain gifts or abilities that we're particularly good at. I'm really good at changing weather. Um, especially when it comes to rain. I know I'm really good at that. It's one of my skills because I have an affinity for the weather, for the elements actually. So during my son Surya's second birthday, we did this
Pool
kind of like this
party.
big, yeah,
Yeah.
big pool party. So what we do is we do smaller birthdays and then we do one kind of big birthday party. And that was his big birthday party. And we were doing it at this place in Manila called the Pool Club, right? It was called Pool Club, right?
Yeah.
And it had a massive outdoor pool, and it was a bar, and it had loungy areas. And we were inviting not only our kids' friends, but like our friends. It was a party for us as much as it was for my 2-year-old son, and he was my only child at that point. So we actually still had a lot of adult friends at that point because it was just one child. 3 children later, you're like,
Where
all
are
my friends are like my
these
kids.
adults? Yeah.
Yeah, like they're my kids' parents, or like, it just you don't, your circle gets a lot smaller. But we did this massive pool party, and we had like a foam event, so it was like a foam party and all kinds of things happening, but everything was outdoor. And the morning of, the planners are like, there's a typhoon coming in. And I'm like, there can't be a typhoon coming in. The entire party is outdoors. We have no backup plan. Um, we just kind of were hoping for the best. And I was like, it can't happen. So of course I went up in Theta and I did my thing. And I basically worked with weather, let's put it that way, so that it wouldn't rain during his birthday party. So it poured all morning while they were setting up. It poured in the morning. And then the party started at 11, and I was already on site, but I think around 10:45, 10:40, around like 10 something, the rain calmed down. They were able to finish like setting up and everything. And I was on site, and I remember around 11:15, I felt one raindrop, one. And the rest of the day, we had like clear blue skies, beautiful sun, and it was supposed to be typhoon all day, right? Because it was December, and it's like it was that time where apparently we were getting hit with a lot of
I was
typhoons.
there at the party and I don't even, I can't even remember a typhoon or rain or anything like
It
that. So I remember
was
only
beautiful
clear
sunny
skies.
day. Yeah, beautiful sunny day. Same thing happened at my wedding. At my wedding,
Yeah,
there was a volcanic eruption that I didn't know about. If I knew it was going to happen, I would have done something about it. But and I bet you anyone listening to us is just like, these girls are just like
crazy.
whack. Like, but it's real, right? Because it happens every time. So at my wedding, volcanic eruption, there were like flights that turned back, got canceled, all kinds of stuff happening. This was in Bali. But that was the first night of our wedding. We had like a 3-day Indian Bollywood style wedding. But on the first night, everybody in the hotel was like, we need to move the garden party indoors because it's going to rain. And I was like, no, it's not going to rain. And they had already forecasted it was going to be raining the whole time. The whole weekend, the whole wedding weekend was going to be raining. And it was like, oh my God, we have a pool party, we have an outdoor wedding, we have the garden party. We pretty much, the whole wedding was outdoors.
Outdoors, yeah.
But
It
yeah,
was in
and there
Bali, right?
was in
So it
Bali,
was,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah. So they were like, we need to move the garden party indoors. And I was like, no, we don't need to. It's not going to rain. And of course, like the GM of the hotel and all of them are like, what is wrong with her? It's like the logical thing to do. But I was like, no. And then they were like, look, even if it doesn't rain, because it's raining now, the garden is going to be so muddy and it's going to be so gross that even if it doesn't rain, you should still move the party indoors. And I was
Mm,
like, okay, that I understand. Like that logic I get. So we agreed. I agreed that, okay, fine, let's move the party indoors. Of course, what happened? It didn't rain at all. It was dry. We had like part of the party outdoors, like, where there was like a fire show and whatever, and the rest of it was indoors. Wasn't, of course, what I would have wanted, but the next day at the pool party, beautiful sunny day, not a drop. Same thing at the wedding. Okay. And this is 'cause, like, I went up and worked with weather. And then the third one was, it was my middle son Vade's birthday, and we did it at like at a farm. It was called Santa Elena Farm, and of course it's a farm, so you're outdoors. And we did some kind of like a carnival theme, so everything was outdoors, like all the activities. And the crazy thing is, when we were driving there, it was pouring. It was so
mhm.
bad. It was so bad. One of our guests said she was driving to the party and she was like, this is going to be a complete mess because it's raining and it's an outdoor party. And she turned around and went home. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
But when you got to the farm, it was not raining. It actually stopped raining when the guests started coming in. It was kind of drizzling before that, but when the guests started coming in, it stopped raining. And then at 4 o'clock sharp, right when people were going home, right, it started
That's when
raining
it
again.
poured.
So we
Yeah.
had that full window of like no rain. Again, this was rain and it was July, middle of like our rainy season. But once again, worked with the weather, made sure, and we had a completely dry party. Only at the end at 4. So there were still a couple of people left, and they were like, okay, time to go, which is kind of great because we were able to clear the party.
I think what I'm getting from these examples also, right? And
Hmm.
I want to put across is the fact that we don't have to do things per, let's say, the weather, or it's rainy season, or it's, like December, like on like the important occasions. You said, you know what? No, I'm still gonna do it because I can work with the weather and I can
You,
make things shift and I
Maish,
can make things
I lost
change.
you. I lost you. So can you repeat that bit again?
Yeah.
Your
So what I was
Wi-Fi
saying
tuned
was,
out.
that you get to choose what you want to do versus being dictated by the weather, or by the fact that it's rainy season, or by other circumstances. So we
Right.
get to have more sense of
Live.
control,
Yeah. I
versus
would say, you get to live life on your own terms,
terms. Yeah.
knowing you're fully supported in
Yeah.
every way. Like, I don't think of it as, this arrogant thing, like, oh, I'm going to plan a party in the middle of rainy season, it's going to be okay.
And
It's not
let's
like an
see.
arrogant thing. It's just,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like, you know what? I'm going to do this. It feels like the right thing to do. And I
Mm,
know I'm going to be supported and everything's going to be taken care of. It's
yeah.
more on that sense. Like everything will always be taken care of. There's a sense of confidence, a conviction. There's a lot of faith and belief in it. And I would say more or less that's how life is the sense of just complete safety and protection because you're connected to the source, to the creator. Like if there's any challenge, you can do some work and clear what you need to. You can kind of go forward and see what's happening in the future. That's another really cool superpower. Did we talk about that one? The future readings?
Looking, I don't remember or
Okay.
recall, right? But I wanted to just add, and I think like one that is one of the biggest turning points when you can see these things in action and see that you're able to do that, right? That is the point where you realize that anything is possible. So it's not like, hey, we're just learning all these superpowers just because for
We're
fun or
really
whatever. It's
cool. No, we are.
it's just that point where when we change the taste of water, right? In one of the exercises, to sweet or to salty, and we did that, and I tasted it, and it tasted that way. And at that point, you're like, wow, this shit is real.
Yeah.
It works, and once you kind of get to that point, it's not like you keep doing it all the time like a magic show. It's just that it
The
clicks,
shift
it is
happened.
possible. The shift
The shift
happened.
happens in your mind when you realize you're able to do these incredible things, right?
Yeah,
You realize that, hey, nothing is impossible. Like, if the worst thing in the world happened to me right now, even then, it's not impossible that everything will change in an instant and be okay again. Like, you basically learn that like it's like, impossible is nothing, right? What's
yeah,
the saying? Impossible is nothing. But it's really that sense of just trust and belief and confidence that,
yeah,
hey, there's nothing so bad, there's nothing that can't be changed or fixed or
yeah,
healed or resolved,
yeah.
you know whereas
And
for a lot of people it's like, oh my god, it's the end of the world if
yeah,
something that they fear or they can't control
yeah.
happens.
And I think that is, when you ask me what exercises are really or what we learn, which is really cool, I feel it's more about the shift that I got from learning these exercises and doing them that
Yeah.
that created the biggest impact. If I can move matter with my mind, what else is not possible, right?
Oh, what else
So
is
then
possible?
no, exactly. So what else is possible, right? So
Right.
at the end of the day, when you kind of see that in action, then it's like you move from Maisha to Maisha 2.0 now, where now the shift in reality is, and the things that you see and you can attract in your life is just higher and more
Limitless.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
limitless.
I like this Maisha 2.0. So tell me, Maisha 2.0, what does it feel like to live in a Maisha 2.0 reality? Like, what's it like?
feels it feels like the Jetsons. It feels like anything I want can show up and can happen, and it feels really nice because if I know that, then I can live in a state of flow, and if anything's not happening the way that I want to, I can shift that and change that. So it's such an amazing place to be in because then you can be in the present moment, versus I'm worried what's going to happen or what did happen. And I think that's a beautiful place to be in, right? In the present, so that you're able to enjoy. You're able to enjoy what is really in front of you.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love that. So, any other superpowers we want to drop today? Because we didn't really talk about a lot of them, just like a couple of key ones. But
So
anything else
about
you had on your mind?
bilocation, you know,
That's a good one.
um,
Yeah, but now we're going
being,
into all the DNA 3 abilities, which
mm,
I kind of want to reserve a special episode on
okay,
that one.
okay. That's a special
Yeah.
one. Okay. Hmm. What else can
Anything
we do? So we want to
else we might.
talk about future reading a little bit more and
Mhm.
explore that,
And
right? Being
manifestation can be its own episode. Like, let's talk about manifestation in one of our next episodes, just on theta healing manifestation. But let's talk about
how
future
about
readings.
waywards? Did we and waywards and clearing these energies? Did
Oh
we
my
even
God,
talk about that?
that's a
Right?
whole
I
new
think that's a
episode on
major.
its own. My God, we have so much to talk about. I kind of like, it's like we should go twice a week already. Okay, but really briefly, waywards, right? We can clear energies from a room. We can clear energies like negative energies. You walk into a home, your dog barks in the corner, you can actually go up and just release whatever that negative energy is. You can release negative energy from a house that's not selling, right?
Yeah.
An apartment that you have, it's not selling, you can release all the negative energies. And we've done that for our clients, and then the house sells. So we have those kind of things that we're able to do. Or like I've done this for my husband and other clients as well, where business was stuck in a certain area, just go in and kind of
Mhm.
clear the space, clear the energies, clear any blocks that are keeping the
And
business
even I
stuck.
think downloading objects and
Hmm.
teaching it what to do is a really cool one,
Yeah.
right? So if my son is, or my daughter has a speech or she has to do something in school, so I can actually instill her items or her clothing
You,
with confidence,
you can
with the
charge or
ability, you
download
can charge it, right? With different characteristics
vi
or traits so that
vibrations.
and
Vibrations.
vibrations so that she can do her presentation really well. Or I can download my husband's watch so that he thinks about me all the time, which I have not done that. Wink, wink. But that's one cool thing that we can do. So I like that one too.
Yeah, I like that one too. I might have to borrow that one. Though actually, I don't need to do that actually. I need to find there are other ones I
I
think I
think
want to
I
do.
think I saw your husband already pop up here, so I don't think you need to do that. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. But what about okay, so we did the waywards and fallen, so releasing negative
so
energies. It could
future,
be,
future
and
reading,
I
yeah.
just want to add one more thing also with waywards. A lot of times that we, like individuals, carry negative energies
Yeah.
and waywards attachments. Here in the Philippines, they believe in things like nature, spirits, dwarfs,
Or
and all of these things. And if they attach onto you, they can make you sick, they can make you kind of crazy, they can kind of, they make you depressed. So we've seen lots of different things like that, and we are able to
yeah.
clear people as theta healers. We can clear our children. Your child is waking up with nightmares every single
Mm,
day, probably some kind of wayward in their room or
energy, yeah.
attached to them. Yeah, so we just energy clear that. Um, a child with a lot of fear also could be a lot of wayward attachments that we can clear. Future reading, like just being able to, like for example, I'm taking a trip to Guam, and I can go forward a week later and see how did the trip go, even though I haven't gone on the trip yet. And if there's anything I missed or anything I needed to know that would have made my stay more comfortable or would have like, turned out better, I can see the future to make a different choice today in the present.
Yeah.
So, or even like hiring someone or making this choice A versus choice B, we can actually go forward and see the
Which
outcomes
is
of
a
these.
better option, yeah.
Yeah, and then make a different choice right now in the present based on the information
Yeah.
from the future reading. So those are some other really cool things that students get taught, right, Maisha, in a basic and
Yep.
advanced level. Like right in the beginning of theta healing classes, you learn those kind of skills like manifesting and future readings and those kind of waywards. Those are all at the basic level that's taught in a class, which is great.
Absolutely.
Okay, my dear, let's go into our virtue cards. What's our virtue for today? I love how they're
So
so connected to our topic. So I'm curious, what's today's?
today is ta-da, devotion.
Devotion. Let me think about that.
I love how they are connected, but you have to think out.
Yeah. No, it lets you also tune in to like what is the message, right? For us and for our audience for today.
Yeah.
Devotion's a very interesting one. I mean, from my perspective, devotion was I'm here in Guam. I called you 2 hours earlier because I forgot there was a time difference. And I was like, Maisha, we've got Theta Talks. I'm in the mall. I don't have
Can you
my
hear
AirPods.
me?
Can you hear me? Is it gonna work out? Like, I gotta find a place with where people can see me. It's like light. I was kind of like a little like, oh my God, I gotta make sure that I'm present for this. I didn't want to leave you hanging today. And then you're like, Sanaiyah, it's 2 hours
I'd
early.
already checked. I had
Yeah.
already checked a couple of days ago. I'm like, let me figure out what time it is there
Yeah.
to see. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, there's a time difference. I'm like, oh. And immediately I
Mm.
was like, oh, okay, I got 2 hours. And I was able to, eat dinner and still make it back to the room. And Ravi took the kids to the other room. And yeah, I have this quiet space to actually have this conversation. So I think devotion in that way
And
showed up.
we have a really good description too
Tell me.
in the attachment. With the power of devotion, there is no sacrifice, no mountain too high or ocean too deep. Devotion pushes you forward, and there's no time to fear or complaining. Devotion, faith, wisdom, and belief are the unstoppable forces in thought, right? And that is
Because
so beautiful.
that's what we were talking about in a way,
That's what
right?
we were
Like we were
talking about.
right?
Yeah.
It's like with theta healing, you're in a state of complete devotion because there are no obstacles, no mountain too high, no ocean too deep, right? With this knowing you have these abilities as superpowers, it's like you're just in a state of complete devotion, knowing that everything will be taken care of. There's faith, there's belief. Wow, I love it. It actually is
Yeah.
very
It's
aligned.
really tied in. Yeah. And line.
Beautiful.
And it also says you are on the right path. And remember, your path is your purpose.
Ooh,
And to be surrounded by devoted people that you love and love you back is one of the greatest gifts.
I love it.
Awesome. So cool. So
All right. So
enjoy
thank you, Maisha.
your holiday. We
Thank you
will
too.
see you back home
Yes.
next week.
And next
And
week we will
our
be back
topic.
on, yes. I was thinking, should we do manifesting? Because I think that'll be
Oh
really
yeah,
fun.
that will be cool.
Okay.
Let's do
So
manifesting.
next week we're going to talk about theta healing manifesting because it's very different from regular manifestation. So we'll tell you all the really cool things that you can do in theta
And
with
what we've
manifestation.
manifested
What we've
too.
manifested.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That will be a great conversation. See you guys next Tuesday. We are at 8:30 p.m. GMT plus 8. That's Singapore, Perth, Philippines time zone, and then of course do the math for your time zone. Maisha and I will be back to talk to you on Theta Talks. Thank you all for listening, for tuning in. If you want to, experience theta healing for yourself, you can get on a call with Maisha. She's offering a theta healing breakthrough session. That's bit.ly/e dash
Dash
B
B dash
dash
S.
S. So emotional breakthrough session, just the first letters, E dash B dash S. And it'll be in the comments below or in the description below as well. So highly recommend if you get some time with her in her schedule to experience what this can do for you. And yeah, so we get to share more of what we do with more of you. All right, you guys, lots of love. Take care.
See you.